Morning students, welcome to offline classes for 10th standard. So as we are discussing the chapter called life processes, in part 7, up to part 7 we have discussed about how transportation is takes place in human beings. We have discussed in detail up to part 7. In part 8 we are going to discuss about how transportation is takes place in plants. We are going to discuss here in the part 8. So as you know that the plants, even the plants also need some important materials for their growth and development. So we have discussed what during photosynthesis plants need water, carbon dioxide, water, sunlight. So these are the raw materials plants needed for the preparation of the food. At the same time, even the plant also needs some other materials for the growth and development. And as you know, the plants which prepare the food in leaves, and the food which is prepared in the leaves, they need what? Many raw materials like carbon dioxide, water and the chlorophyll. Why the food is prepared in leaves? Because the leaves contain water, chlorophyll. Then how the water it circulates to the leaves. So as you know that the leaves, plants, they get the water from the roots. The roots are the bottom, which is very bottom, and where the leaves is very top. How the water gets circulates to that? Okay, so that is how it is circulates, how the transportation is takes place in plants. We discuss here now. So plants do not move, and the plant bodies have large proportions of dead cells in many tissues. As you know that the plants do not move. So when they are not moving, so their energy need is also very less when compared to the animals. The energy need in plants is very less, and moreover, the large proportions of dead cells are also more in the plant cells. So hence the energy need is very less, low when compared to the animal. So plants have low energy needs. The plants have low energy needs, so they can use relatively slow transport system. So plants they do not move, and the high proportions of dead cells, hence they need low energy needs. In the same way, they have slow transport system they contain. The distances over the which the transport system have to operate can be very large in plants such as very tall trees. So as you know, the shrubs, herbs, they are the very small plants. So their height is very less when compared to the soil. So because the soil is a major part which plays very important for transporting of water to the plant body. So whereas the roots, which is soil, and the plant's body, which is very near to the soil. So hence the transportation of water takes place very easily. But when we compare to the plants which is larger in size, so where the trees are living trees, the leaves are very top when compared to the soil. So the distance is very larger. So to that extent of the leaves, the water has to be reaches. How it is transported? So that to transport in a larger trees, so there is a need of system. There is a need of transport system in plants for the preparation of the food and also for the growth and development in the plant body. So how it is? So here, so in smaller plants like shrubs and herbs, the diffusion is enough to transport the water and other materials. So diffusion is slow process compared to the need of leaves, roots and other parts. So if it's shrubs or herbs, the diffusion is easy. But when it compared to the trees, the diffusion is not so, it is not enough to transport the water and minerals to up to that extent. So that if the diffusion distance between the leaves containing chlorophyll and the roots in contact with the soil is small, energy and raw materials can easily diffuse to all the parts of the plant body. Yes, the shrubs and herbs, the distance between the soil and leaves are very shorter. So the diffusion is enough to transport it. But in case if it is the large distance is larger, then there is a need of water, the transport system. In shrubs and the trees, the distance between becomes large. So diffusion process is not sufficient to provide raw materials in leaves and energies in roots. So a proper system of transportation is essential. Yes. So when compared to herbs, the distance between the soil and roots are the distance between the leaves and the roots soil is very shorter. They can get the water and mineral by the process called diffusion. But when it compared to the trees, the distance between the soil and leaves are very larger. So there is a need of water transport system. How it is? So here, then how does the water move in plants? Here at the roots, the cells in contact with the soil actively take up ions. The cells in contact with the roots, the cells which are present in the roots, they are very actively contact with the water soil, and they take up water ions. This creates a difference in the concentration of these ions between the roots and the soil. So here, when they contact with the soil, they take up the ions. So what happens here? There is a difference is created between the roots and the soil. So then what happens? The water moves into the roots from the soil to eliminate this difference. So when the difference is created, the soil, when the root enters into the water enters into the roots, and the difference, what happens? It is getting eliminated. There is a steady movement of water into root xylem, creating a column of water. Here, the xylem is a very important tissue which helps in the transport of water to all the parts of the body. Here, there is a steady movement of water into root xylem, creating a column of water. From roots, the xylem is having a connection between all the parts of the body, so that transports the water to all the parts of the body. Here, then how water takes place? How water and minerals transport in plants? How it is transported in plants? So this is a very important tissue that is called the xylem tissue. The xylem tissue, which plays very important role in plants for the transportation of water and minerals. So there are different cells of the xylem, that is tracheids and vessels. So there are 4 different cells are there: xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers, xylem tracheids, and xylem vessels. These 4 are 4 important cells on the xylem. But these tracheids and vessels, the place very important for the transportation of water and minerals. Hence, the xylem is called as water conducting tissue. It's called water conducting tissue because it transports the water and minerals from one part of the plant body to the another part of the plant body. And where we can see in roots, stems, and leaves are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels that reaches all the parts of the plant body. Here, these tracheids and vessels have interconnected with one another. So through these, the water and minerals get transported to all the parts of the plant body, and they can utilize for their growth and development and other functions. And so we know one more important process, that is called transpiration, is also plays very important role in the transportation of water. Here, what is the transpiration? The loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant is known as transpiration. Transpiration is loss of water from the plant body in the form of water vapor. This is called transpiration. When transpiration takes place, how it helps in the transportation of water? The transpiration creates a suction pressure, as a result of which water is forced into the xylem cells of the roots. Then there is a steady movement of water from the root xylem to all the plant parts through the interconnected water conducting channels. This transpiration which creates more suction. So when you drink juice by using straw, but when you will suck the juice which is present in the glass. So when you suck that, what happens, there is some kind of suction pressure creates inside the glasses. So then what happens, that forcefully, what happens, the juice enters in your mouth. In the same way, here, this transpiration which creates water, the suction pressure. When this suction pressure creates, as a result of that, the water which forcibly enters into the water, xylem cells. When water forcibly enters into xylem cells, that xylem cells having interconnected with the xylem visual and tracheids, that will transport the water to all the parts of the plant body. In this way, water and minerals transports in the plant body through a very important tissue or cells called a xylem. Hence, xylem is called a water conducting tissue. Then in the next class, we will discuss how food is transported in the plant body. In detail, we will go to discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you.